Okay. Hi, Deborah. Thank you for joining me today on our special Aufguss Focus Spa and Sauna webinar today. Thank you so much. What I'd love to do is just ask you just to introduce yourself, if that's cool, and then we can delve into some of the questions that I've prepared.
Yeah, sure. Thanks very much for inviting me on. I'm really excited to be sharing a little bit of information about what I've done and about the sauna movement in the UK.
Brilliant. So what I'd love to do is learn more about your journey, Deborah. So what is your spa and wellness background, and how did you find this passion for sauna?
Yeah, so my background is spa. So I've worked in the industry for, God, about 150 years now, I think, in various different capacities. But mainly, obviously, like I say, working in spa consultancy, spa management. And really, it was a little bit of frustration, and if I'm totally honest, a little bit of boredom that kind of got looking elsewhere in the world and in Europe as to what the spa offering really was. I just felt as though the industry and the areas of spa that I was working in hadn't really developed or moved on very much in the last sort of few years. And for me, I felt as though it was a lot of repetition. And I found as a spa manager and as a spa consultant that there was these amazing spas with fantastic thermal facilities, but they just weren't getting used and they weren't being utilised. You'd go past amazing hot tubs and everybody would be in there, but yet you'd go and open the sauna door and it would be just completely empty. And I'm a bit of an advocate for sort of wellness myself. It's something that, I'm really passionate about in my own life. So kind of got a little bit curious as to, right, okay, well, what are we doing in the UK? Can we be doing more? Are they doing different things elsewhere? And that's really when I started to look at Europe, into the Baltic countries, and found how ingrained sauna was, not just in their culture, but in their spa and wellness offerings. And it kind of opened a bit of a Pandora's box for me, really. The more I started to learn about it, the benefits about it, and how it helped us from a wellness point of view, that really made me then explore how we could integrate that into a spa, and how that could become a really nice, luxurious experience to add to our spa offerings, but also offered all those amazing, like, genuine wellness benefits that we want to offer our guests as well.
Yeah,
and then it kind of went from there.
But it's interesting what you say about Europe. I spent last summer in Norway and Sweden, and literally there are floating saunas everywhere. We went sailing off of Stockholm. There are these little saunas on islands where you put some money in and press a button and there's a sauna. It's like super embedded into the European culture, isn't it? It's like it's almost here in a hotel. We just go, well, okay, tick box. I need a sauna. I need a steam room. Let's just put it all in. And there we go. That ticks the boxes. Everyone will be really happy. It's a spa now because I've put a sauna in.
Yeah, and it's so true. It's so true. And one of the things that kind of makes me giggle on the inside is that we're now in the UK, sort of, I dare I say it, post-COVID, starting to refer to spa a bit more as wellness. But actually in Europe, they've always called it wellness. They wouldn't necessarily say, or, go down, even at hotel check-in, our spa offers, it's our wellness area or our thermal area offers. And it's so ingrained. And like you'll have probably seen when you were in sort of the Nordic countries, that saunas, even in your local council ran swimming pool, they'll have a lovely sauna that'll offer sauna rituals. And it's just what these people expect to experience when they go for that sort of day or experience. It's just really part of their offering.
And it's right what you say. It's not seen as a luxury over there, is it? It's not like you have to book your 100 and something pound spa day to be able to go and sit in one. They are in the leisure centres there, and they are nice. They are like what I would say is our spa level of quality, but as you say, in a leisure centre setting, so they're accessible for everyone.
Yeah, definitely, and very well maintained. Like you say, I think here when we think of leisure centre saunas, we've kind of got this preconceived idea about a dark box that's in the corner that's probably not very well maintained, and people think to go in there is a little bit of an endurance test. You've kind of got to sit in there waiting for the sand to fall down the timer so that you can leave. where really, the more I explored, and this is what I found so exciting about it, the more that is just absolutely not the case at all.
No, I could never make it to the end of the sand timer. I have to say that. I'm going to put my hand up. I never make it to the end of the sand timer. I like hot countries, but I'm not good enough to do that. So obviously we're speaking about sauna, but your speciality is in some of the training for the Aufguss. So how does it differ from like a traditional sauna session where we do watch the timer and, you know, get through that time? How is that different?
Yeah, so Aufguss is kind of like a genre of sauna, if you like. So all the different countries or nations in the world have got their own way of doing sauna. You know, like if you look at the Baltic countries and Russia and things, they do a lot of what they call banya, which is using branches, and they use oak and birch and things in the sauna a lot traditionally. Aufguss is, it originated from Germany, and it's more around that ritualistic side of sauna and a sauna experience. So that it's kind of like a treatment-led almost experience, which is one of the reasons why I like it and think it fits in so well with that spa experience, because from a guest point of view, you're not left in there on your own board sitting, you know, like you say, looking at the sauna timer. You've got somebody in there that's guiding you. So it's almost like an exercise class or a treatment, in that, you know, you've got what you'd call a sauna master who will tell you a little bit about the ritual that you're going to be experiencing. They'll take you into the sauna. They'll ask a lot of questions. From a guest point of view, you can ask a lot of questions as well, which is great if you've never had this experience. It kind of takes any questions or any hesitancy or anxiety about it away. And then the experience is usually about 15 minutes. So it's not that long. A lot of people think, oh, do I have to be in the sauna for like an hour? Or is it, how long do I have to stay in for? It's not like that at all. And in a lot of times, the sauna is actually not that warm when you do it with a sauna master. It's a very controlled heat. And, you know, they'll give you advice on where to sit in the sauna to make it more pleasurable for you. And they incorporate things like music, aromas, maybe herbs, and then they use special techniques with a towel or a fan to circulate the air, so that there's periods of that where you'll feel warm air, but then there'll be other periods where you'll feel cool air. So it's a really immersive experience, and a journey that sauna master will take you on. So it gets rid of that clock watching element that you have when you're kind of sitting in there on your own. And it also means as well that a lot of these authentic wellness benefits that we get, you know, like the scientific and health benefits like cardiovascular, immune system, detoxification, all of that kind of happens, but you don't realize that you're in there because you're having a lovely, relaxing experience.
And you're having fun doing it, aren't you, at the same time?
Exactly. And a lot of the times you're doing it in a group experience as well, depending on how big the sauna you're in, will depend on how many people that you're doing it with, which is quite nice as well, again, for like groups and corporate events and things, that they can do this together, which is quite different from your traditional sauna offering, spa offering of that one-on-one treatment.
So how does it work then? So if you're saying it's a group treatment, you know, is it a bit like a fitness class where you would sell that space I'm thinking from a commercial sort of point of view for a spa, you've got your master that you need to obviously have in that space. Do you open up 10 spaces and then people can individually book those on at those sessions, and you run 2 sessions a day? What is the sort of way that hotels and spas are being able to incorporate it in? How do they manage that?
Yeah, very much like you said, a lot of the spas now have almost like you would have found like a fitness schedule, you know, like at 9 o'clock you'll have step class or whatever, 10 o'clock is this. And it's very much like that with the sauna as well. So depending on the time of the day will depend on the rituals that are being offered. So yeah, you might have, depending on how big your facility is, how many saunas or thermal suites you've got, will depend on how many rituals that you're offering. But I would say on average, the UK at the moment, we're running on about 3 rituals a day, which will incorporate sort of half-day spas, full-day spas, and then obviously hotel guests and members. So it's usually something on the morning, which would be quite an uplifting, reviving, energizing ritual. then something maybe mid-afternoon, which again might be something that's quite relaxing. And then maybe something on an evening, which could be like a pre-sleep, twilight, you know, you might maybe even incorporate things like breath work, meditation, sound baths, things like that with it as well. And so then they would run every day.
Yeah, I guess it's 15, sorry,
go on.
No, carry on. My bad.
No, sorry. I was going to say, and from a guest point of view, they would book this. So depending on how big your sauna is, so if you've got, I don't know, 5 to, I think the biggest sauna in the UK now takes 65 people, they would book on that. So it's just like booking a treatment, so that you know from a guest point of view how many people you're expecting. There's a revenue stream with that, because you'd be looking to charge anything from £10 to £30 for these rituals per person.
Oh, wow. You read my mind. That was going to be my question. How much would you, because it's a 15-minute session.
Yep.
And you would charge up to £30 for that?
Yeah, particularly, I mean, most of what we do in the UK is sauna based, but we also have thermal facilities in our steam rooms. So again, if you've got the correctly trained sauna master in there, they'll be able to offer rituals in the steam room, where you can incorporate products in there, scrubs, hair masks, things like that. And again, the oils and the aromas. So there's a cost to that, as well as the cost to that one person. But yeah, there's a massive return on investment very, very quickly.
And what skills does a person need to become a sauna master? I'm just thinking, you know, it's, you know, with a therapist, you have to have an MVQ or alternative qualification. Can anyone do a sauna master training, or do they need a particular background?
No, not at all. This is where a lot of spas prick their ears up, because you don't need to be a therapist to do this. Which is where I was like, yes, yeah. So what I would say, anybody that's got a sort of passion for wellness. So in a lot of spas, it's usually spa hosts, maybe the fitness team or reception. Anybody can come and do the training. But you do need, for insurance purposes, obviously, you do need to have a certification to be able to deliver these treatments.
But nothing before that. So it could be anyone in your team who just thinks, wow, this looks fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a silly question that's just popped in my mind. What does the sauna master wear? So, if, you know, obviously some people wouldn't necessarily want to get down to their swimwear, but they wear outfits as well.
Yeah, so on a day-to-day basis, a sauna master would probably wear a uniform, a branded uniform. So in a lot of cases, it's either shorts or like yoga trousers, something that's quite light, with either like a vest top that's branded with like a logo on, or sometimes maybe a t-shirt or a polo shirt, or sometimes little like crop tops, depending on what the business wants, really. So it's quite practical, it's quite light to wear, but it's again in a uniform sort of branded thing that you can wear.
So they can feel comfortable. They're not in there. I just had a vision of them in their swimwear, and I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to be doing it in my swimwear.
I wouldn't want to do it in my swimwear. No one would want to see me.
I'm sorry.
A towel around in my bikini. No chance.
I'm sorry to throw that one in there, where I was just suddenly like, I'm going to ask this. So obviously it's very different, and we're talking about saunas like size. What is the kind of, you're saying we could do it in a sauna that seats 6 people? You could still have, you just need, how much space do you need for the movement of the sauna master, you know, and how can you go about that?
This is one of the fun things about being a sauna master, is that you can work in all sorts of saunas and all sorts of spaces. You can work on a one-to-one basis as well. And again, from a business point of view, these is where this can be quite lucrative if you're doing, you know, personal one-on-one treatments. The only obviously prerequisite is you need a sauna or a steam room, something that's going to give you heat. If it's a sauna, you will need what we would probably say is an authentic sauna or a finished sauna that's got a stove, so that we can use water, ice, infusions and things on the stove.
Okay.
And in that way, we're creating a humidity in the sauna as well, which creates a lovely heat. It stops the heat being so strong and powerful. You know, quite often, if they don't have these sauna stoves, they can be quite dry. And I think that's what a lot of people find can be challenging with. It's not necessarily the heat, it's actually the dryness. Where if you've got one of these authentic stoves and you can use water, it creates a little bit of humidity, which actually makes it a much more comfortable experience.
Yeah, I always go into those saunas with the stove, and I never quite know when I'm meant to put the water on, if I'm meant to put the water on, or so I always look at it and think maybe I should find out what to do with it. But it's interesting that you suggest that that's what you need to have within the sauna to make it the best experience, because I do think I don't manage the timer because I think I feel like I'm drying out.
Yeah. So it's a difficult one from like a public point of view, and I think that's why a lot of spa operators actually take the water out, because you'll get one person in there, they're chucking a bucket on, and then it gets really humid and hot for the rest of the guests. But I would say little and often as a general rule with water.
I was thinking you've got some videos to play. I think this might be a time, before I ask more questions, to play one of the videos, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to do this one here. Just because I think we need to bring it to life a little bit and perhaps show what Aufguss is. Can you see my screen okay?
I can.
Can you hear me?
Welcome to the first ever UK Aufguss Championships here at Rudden Park in Harrogate on this glorious day.
There we go. That is incredible, because I actually, until you shared the video with me, I hadn't realized how much of a dance experience with the sort of the towels and the skill, and even synchronized with two people in the room and things. And that's part of, I guess, the Sauna Master training, is all the way through from making snowballs brilliant to throwing the towel and that sort of stuff. That's what the course covers. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So the video is actually a little snapshot of the Aufguss UK Championships that we had in the UK. So this is like a competition as well. Not necessarily what your Sauna Masters would be doing on a day-to-day basis, but there's a very theatrical element that the guys can go down if they want to as well, which is super good fun. But yeah, the Sauna Master training starts really with a lot of knowledge and theory. It's a little bit like a chemistry and a physics and a little bit of biology chucking in there to start with, because we look at obviously all the health and safety, what happens to the body from a physiological point of view, also down to the sauna itself, what happens in the sauna, why do we create the heat, what happens to the heat, and then we look at what we can do in there. So we do a big deep dive into sort of essential oils, aromas, so that we can create amazing experiences through sense. And also you get the benefits as well from aromatherapy, which we all know working in the spa industry is massive, particularly with our products and everything as well. So we try and bring that into there. And then that choreography with music, with the towels and everything as well. So there's a purpose to the towels to circulate and move the air. But when it's done well, it looks really quite beautiful and it's quite artistic as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And so how long does the training take? Is it over several days? Is it online and in person? How does that work for the training?
So for the foundation Sauna Master course, which would be enough for anybody to get going, it's 3 days. And I think the first day is really a lot of theory. That's where we cover most of the theory, and then we put some practice into in the sauna in the afternoon. Then the second day we do quite a deep dive into infusions, a little bit more on like health and safety, etiquette, things like that, a bit more practice in the afternoon. And then by the end of the third day, all of the sauna masters have got the skills and the knowledge to be able to go back to their own saunas and start to offer a sauna offering and program.
Wow. And then they're certified. They're certified.
Yeah, they're certified from that. And then you can go on from there and then do additional courses on top of that. So then you might do more courses on the towel techniques if you're interested in the competition, or if you're working in a bigger sauna where you've got lots of space to do all the lovely throwing and catching and spinning the towel and things. We do a herbal infusion, which is where we do a bit more of a deep dive into aromatherapy, herbs, how to make your own infusions yourself from, you know, your kitchen gardens and things that a lot of these spa premises have got. Yeah. We do steam mastering as well. So all about learning how to do your steam treatments, your hammams, more of your Turkish things with your soap massages. And then we also, this year, we'll start to do some banya training as well, or not with the whisks, which are the herbs and the barks and the leaves that we mix together and use, quite like they do in the Baltic countries, but we can introduce that in this country now as well. So that's really exciting.
So I guess if you're looking to then put these treatments in, even if you've got limited space, you can still fit it in with a smaller sauna. So I guess the first thing is to look at your sauna and sort of figure out how many people you can get in there to then make sure that it's financially viable. Look at the training, select the person who's going to do the training, and then from a business model, work out how much you can earn from your sauna if you're running, like you say, 3 sessions a day.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it could be actually, it's quite a good ROI for actually at a time when we're sort of saying, well, we don't have enough therapists to open more massage columns. Actually, could we look at another team member to start to be a sauna master, I guess?
Definitely. And it's funny you should say that, because I actually just spoke to a spa director this morning, because we're going to go in and we're going to train their team. They've got 8 people that they're going to train. I'm going to go on site rather than them coming to me. And we're going to do steam and sauna training so that they can offer that now as a full program. But what they're going to do is then they're going to take treatments out of their spa packages. So they're not going to offer treatments now as part of that spa package. They are just going to offer the thermal addition. So that ritual, either a sauna ritual or a steam ritual, and then any treatments will become that add-on.
For all of their spa packages?
Yep, that's what we're looking at.
Wow, I know I can't ask you, but I'd love to know who's doing that, because that's quite a change in the way that people expect to buy spa packages, isn't it? They expect a treatment, but actually, you know, there are people who are doing just a half day of sort of spa and thermal experience, but actually you can upgrade yourself and make yourself stand out in the busy marketplace by having these spa rituals, these sauna rituals, included as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, you know, because there's been so many challenges with therapists, it's now been what I'm seeing is it's now been a little bit more thinking outside of the box of how you can, you know, meet your client demands, but without worrying about therapists letting you down. So, you know, if you've got a team of 6 sauna masters and one phone's in sick, you can still fulfill your client needs, because you're servicing 15, 20, 30 clients in one session with just one person. So it becomes less of a disruption and an impact on the day should anything kind of go wrong with that, with on an operational point of view.
That's incredible. I really would never have thought that someone would be that would become a standard spa day package, but it's actually just working its way with the way that the industry is moving and not being able to offer enough treatments. Like you say, this does become a treatment in itself.
Absolutely. You know, and I think the benefits are in some ways, you know, not everyone will agree. You know, I think you'll never get away from that hands-on treatment. There's something, you know, that will always be with us and there'll always be a demand for that. But I think because now from a guest point of view, there is so much knowledge and education around the benefits of sauna, they know, guests know now that, you know, a 15-minute sauna session will do this, and this for them. So they're ticking a quite a big box for them. And it is very relaxing. It's a really relaxing experience for guests. You know, they all come out like, oh, you know, that was amazing. You know, so from that point of view, from a guest experience point of view, it's still a lovely experience for them.
And do you tie your training when you deliver it, when you talk about Sauna Master, do you look at does that include the contrast bathing piece as well, where you talk about the cold elements going alongside the sauna, or is it very much focused on the sauna? It's just the sauna facility itself. Because I know a lot of people are getting ice baths, cold showers and things, and you can see that this can be incorporated in with those facilities as well.
Yeah, definitely. It is coming more and more. In fact, in the UK, we're seeing just as many contrast bathing places popping up now, aren't we? Like everywhere. But yeah, we don't specialise in cold therapy. So we'll talk about it a little bit, but we don't dive into it because we're not experts in it. And I think, you know, we leave it to the experts, really.
Yeah. So it's focusing on the sauna. So
yeah.
what, and this is, I was going to leave on one last question. So we've obviously covered the Sauna Master piece and the sort of the role and how you can incorporate it in and how actually it can be a really good ROI. What excites you the most about the future of thermal wellness and where rituals like Aufguss might take the spa industry?
I think it's really exciting for me because it's something we'll never get bored of, because there's so much that we can do with it. You know, we're just beginning to scratch the surface of it now. And I think the exciting thing and the reason that it'll hang around, it'll stick around, is because it is a wellness experience. And I think as a nation, we're much more focused now on our health. And when we see all these contrast bathing places open up and more education and write-ups and things, I think that, for me, that's the direction that spa's going to go anyway. So let's sort of embrace it, run with it, and put our own unique UK spin on it, because everything at the moment is, well, we do this in Russia, we do this in Germany, we do this. Well, let's start and do our own thing in the UK.
Oh, that's interesting. So almost keep the Aufguss there, but actually put the British spin on it, or make your own twist to it. You can do that, I guess. You can customize it to your spa concept.
Definitely. You know, one of the things that I think is really great about this is, like I said before, it will never overtake treatments in this country, because what I've realized is that in a lot of European countries, they're not as treatment centric as we are here. So, you know, let's not lose it, but let's just be a little bit more focused and a bit more considered about when we do offer treatments and when we do offer rituals, like in the heat rooms. But there's certainly no reason why the two can't marry up perfectly together.
Yeah, and you can almost do a treatment that goes alongside with your specialist sauna experience, I guess, where if you're using, I don't know, a lavender or a rosemary or whatever that's in the treatment itself, you could actually run that through to a sauna ritual pre or post treatment, I'm guessing, is what
Definitely.
You're saying, to build that whole experience from beginning to end that ties in with the spa concepts.
Absolutely. And then it can be branded as well. You know, if you've got a particular concept that's unique to your property, then that can be bespoke to that. And even it's things like F&B offerings as well that can sit in quite nicely with it. You know, if you've got a lovely kitchen garden and you're using all the herbs from there, you're using infusion in the sauna, well, there's no reason why that can't be a drink or a tea or something that's offered, or, you know, or like you say with lavender, then there's no reason why they can't incorporate a lavender ice cream at lunchtime, you know. So you can really ingrain it in some really quite fun and creative ways.
I think that's the thing I've just learned from you, is the fact that it starts off as you think it's quite like people with a towel, moving the towel in the air and doing things in a certain order. But I guess it's about being creative. It's a freestyle experience for the people who are visiting to be able to, and you can curate that experience depending on what you want to deliver.
Exactly. You know, whether that's times of day, days of the week, quiet days, busy days. Yeah, absolutely. It can really be adaptable and changeable as well. You know, like it's not like once you do a sauna ritual one way, it has to stay like that. It can completely change, whether that's, you know, time of year as well, what's growing around us, what nature are providing for us, what,
I love it.
You know, what your guests want, what your guests need. So it's ever evolving, ever changing. So it keeps it really exciting for the guys that are doing it. And it allows them to let their creative juices flow as well, which is really fun. And I think that's great.
I think you sometimes, when you are in the treatment room, you don't necessarily get to be so creative, do you? You have a fixed facial that you follow the protocol, you put and apply the products in a certain order. But what you're saying is, with this, there's a huge creative element that is down to that sauna master.
Definitely. I always say this, it's a bit like, telling a chef they can only have white bread and jam. But because it's so constructed, but where they want to do is they want to,
So my son likes jam sandwiches. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, my 4-year-old would be very happy with that, chef. Sorry.
Where they've got all of these tools to just really, go for it, put their own spin on it. And what I really hope we're going to see in the next few years is that particularly members of these properties will like to go to rituals by Deborah, or they'll prefer to go to, Hannah's ritual, because it's a bit like hairdressers and nail techs and things. There's people that you just, and fitness instructors, there's people that you warm to the way that they do it, that you really like, because you've got your own personality in there as well, which I think is that's really exciting. I think that's very good for return guests and maintaining members and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of, for me, it's a win-win for everybody.
I absolutely love this. I did admit to you when we first started speaking that I really didn't know much about this. And actually, for my benefit, I've learned a huge amount, because I hadn't realized actually how you make it sound super easy to put it into a spa. You make it sound fun. You make it sound creative. And actually, it sounds like it will make the spa a good return on the money spent. And I think Chelsea's just messaged there to say that she's inspired to put it into their spas, because I think when you see Aufguss, you see it as like maybe a set protocol with the way you do the towel in a massive sauna. It looks very complex, but actually having you join us on this webinar, I can see actually, you can do it in any size sauna. You can do it with anyone in your team who's passionate and enthusiastic about wellness. You don't need any equipment if your sauna has the heater in it, or the heater in it already. And actually, if you've got a booking system that books classes anyway, all you need to do is put a class in your diary that is for your sauna master and for the guests that want to join in.
Absolutely. And we're paying for it. We're paying for these heaters to be on all day. We're heating saunas, we're heating steam rooms. So, let's use them.
It sounds like a no-brainer. Like, I literally can't think of any reason, except perhaps obviously the upfront costs of the training, perhaps, that you would not think to perhaps look at least to incorporating this into your spa.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it's been amazing. I'm going to just finish on one more of your videos, because I've got another of your videos, and then I'll put the open it out to see if anyone's got any questions, if that's okay. But shall I do the other video, because I think it'll be fun to share the other video that we've got here. Let me just put that. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Here we go. I thought I'd just show this one from your Instagram.
Yeah, this is from last year.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll?
Wow.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Are you ready to rock?
I love that video. I think it's brilliant. I love the fact you put your personality in the end. I love it. I love it. I think that's a really nice way to finish up. I am so grateful, Deborah, for you joining, because like I said several times, I had no real understanding of this. And I now have an appreciation of how easy it should be to be able to incorporate it in. I just wanted to check if, before we wrap up, does anyone have any questions they wanted to ask or anything specific they wanted to go into more depth on? No, we're quiet there. If anyone does, Deborah is in Sparwell. So if you, I will tag her in and do a follow-up post in the next day or so. Feel free to reach out to her if you have any questions or want to learn any more information. And I'm guessing, Deborah, if someone wanted to show you their sauna, you could have a look and see from their sauna and talk to them about how viable it is, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, I'd love to.
Brilliant. I'm just going to say thank you so much, Deborah. Massive thank you so much. And I am going to come to an Aufguss, I promise. Thank you.